so it can't possibly cut you. All right, there's a microprocessor underneath the blade with a jam block. So the second your skin touches that, it senses it and it just locks the blade solid. It does some damage to the blade and to the saw when it does that, but it will save your hand. All right, the other new thing we got this year is everything is hooked up to dust collection. All right, there's all these pipes that run along the ceiling and go into a room in the back. What it'll do is it'll pull all the sawdust away from you. I guess I could show you a couple. This one's a radial arm saw. Kind of hard to do that with one hand. Let's see, what else do we got? This one you're going to use a lot. It's a chop saw. Yeah, if you just want to cut a little bit off a board, this is definitely the way to do it. Same thing, it's hooked up, actually double. It's hooked up to the dust collection system so it's not blowing sawdust everywhere. All right, over here is where all the hand tools normally are. Chisels, drill bits, pliers, whatever. Saws, framing square, speed square, rulers. All right, these cabinets a couple kids made last year just to put the like the small hand tools away: drills, Dremels, nail guns, sanders, biscuit cutters. What else? There's a router. All right, I'll show you guys all this stuff when you get here. But this one, there's a series of bits that I can put in that machine. All right, that I could put all kinds of weird shapes on the edge of wood. I'm making furniture or cabinetry. This is a dinosaur of a drill press, but all it's hooked up for is to make small wood plugs. All right, when we put a screw in a piece of wood, we put the plug on top of it. That way, you know, it just looks like all smooth wood when you're done with it. Let's see, I probably have an example of that over here. Here's a bench somebody made last year. Right here is where the screws are. So it looks a lot nicer if you plug it than having metal screws sticking out. Back here's our new fancy, very expensive dust collection system, complete with electronic controls and the whole bit. And what it's going to do is pull all the sawdust out of the air so we're not breathing it or getting it all over us. And the tables in the middle here, we got 9 work tables with visors on them. The holes, people always ask what those are for. They're drilled intentionally for these things. All right, it's called a bench dog. I can clamp something between this and that. When I tighten the vise up, it'll like hold it in place, which will make no sense until you're actually working on stuff. My fabulous desk that one of my students made a couple years ago, and the sink. So that's pretty much the shop. I mean, it's really well equipped. If you can't make something in here, you pretty much can't make it. There's no magic involved. It's just a matter of learning each machine. Like, the first thing is to make sure you don't get yourself hurt, but then kind of get the result that you're looking for. Some of the machines even seem redundant, like they do the same thing. But when you get here, I'll show you. Like, there's always a better way to do everything. All right, some things are better done on the table saw, some are better done on the chop saw over there. And then we've got underneath here is the compressor for the air tools that just kind of runs automatically and shuts off, so you don't got to play with it. You just hook the hose up and off you go. We've got clamps over there. We've got a lot of different clamps. You'll end up needing all of them. And then the lumber gets stored back here on the racks. Some of you with your tree identification came up with red oak. All right, that's what this is right here. And that's a piece of red oak. I would imagine you can see why they call it red oak. It's got a reddish tint to it. White oak's the same thing, but it doesn't have the reddish tint to it. It's a different species. What else do we got? Here's a piece of pine. Okay, there's a piece of white pine. What else do we got? A piece of black walnut. It kind of matters what you use. You know, you got to use the right wood for the right project, or it's just not going to come out very well. And then besides different species, there's different sizes. Right, that's 4/4 red oak. This is 5/4 red oak. All right, it's a weird system that they've used forever. It can be a little confusing, but basically 4/4 red oak measures 3/4 of an inch. 5/4 red oak measures 1 1/16. All right, they come up with that size because that's the setting when they initially cut the lumber before they mill it. Like, it doesn't really come with this nice smooth face on it like that. It'll come way rough like this. You know, you'll still see the saw marks. So they start out with something basically that's set at 1 inch. By the time it dries and gets planed, it's down to 3/4 of an inch. It's just the way they've always, you know, dimensioned wood forever. All right, over here's some more black walnut. And Doug fir, just regular construction lumber. Back here's plywood. This is, it's 3/4 plywood, but it's got a red oak veneer on it, which makes it worth about $100 a sheet. And then up here is 1/4 inch red oak veneer plywood. Just a little bit cheaper, but not cheap. That's about it for the initial look at the shop. I mean, hopefully we'll be in here pretty soon doing some actual work instead of talking about it. But what I'm going to try to do is get you some videos of, you know, the machines in operation, like the proper way to do it, the way to do it without getting hurt, all that. So when you get here, we don't have to worry about anybody getting hurt. All right, that's about it for today, guys. Bye-bye.